Hi there, Sparkrock community. This video will update you on some of the changes that Sparkrock and Microsoft are making to the way that Sparkrock 365 is deployed, which will allow us to deliver more exciting and useful features to you. The actual functionality of Sparkrock 365 is not changing, but there are differences to the way that you access the system and some changes to the way that new updates are installed. Because this is such an important and time-sensitive change, I'm going to start at the end with a summary of the changes, and then the rest of the video will loop back and give you more information and background. Here's the short version. Sparkrock 365 will of course still continue to be powered by Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central, but in order to give you better and faster access to new Business Central features, we're making changes to the way that Sparkrock 365 is accessed. While Sparkrock 365 itself is not changing, the biggest change users will see is that the URL you access Sparkrock 365 will change from sparkrock365.bc.dynamics.com to businesscentral.dynamics.com. The old links will redirect for now, but we recommend updating bookmarks to the new address. You might notice some cosmetic differences. So for example, at the top bar, it will now say Dynamics 365 Business Central instead of Sparkrock 365. And if you have custom reports with Power BI, there may be a small settings change depending on how the report is built. Most in-app help links will redirect automatically to Sparkrock 365's help site, but some Microsoft links will go to Microsoft's Business Central help. We recommend that you bookmark Sparkrock's help, learn, and customer support sites, and we'll cover all that in a bit. Sparkrock 365 will now more closely follow Microsoft's Business Central release cadence, which means you'll be able to take advantage of new Microsoft features more quickly. And to support this transition and the ability to receive maintenance updates, your Microsoft administrator will need to visit adminconsent.sparkrock.com to grant Sparkrock permission to deploy updates. Other than that, Sparkrock and Microsoft will take care of this transition. So make sure to read the release notes to learn more about this change. And in the rest of this video, we'll cover more information on the transition, the changes you'll see as a user, some reporting changes, and then administrative and release-related changes. So let's get started. As mentioned, we're transitioning to a different way to deploy Sparkrock 365 within Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. This has some big advantages for you. This new environment will allow us to bring you exciting new features such as Microsoft Copilot and other integrations, so you can securely leverage the power of AI, if you choose to, by querying your own data and having Copilot do some tasks in Sparkrock 365 for you. We'll also be able to innovate faster, and it will allow us to take advantage of new Microsoft Business Central features more quickly for you. Sparkrock 365 will still be hosted by Microsoft, so you still have the advantage of their security and scalability, but by aligning with Microsoft's newer program, we ensure our software meets global quality standards for performance, security, and compatibility. Now let's take a look at some of the changes from a user perspective. As mentioned earlier, Sparkrock 365 and My Sparkrock will function the same for users. However, the address that users use to access Sparkrock 365 will change. So for example, let's say your user accessed the URL something like this, starting with sparkrock365.bc.dynamics.com. Now with Sparkrock 365 on the new Microsoft program, the new URL will be something like this. It will start with businesscentral.dynamics.com. Once users go to that new address, authentication is exactly the same, functionality is exactly the same, and this change is only for Sparkrock 365. The way you access My Sparkrock continues to be the same. There are some other visual differences, so when logging into Sparkrock 365, while waiting for it to load, before you saw the Sparkrock 365 logo, now you'll see the Business Central logo. And same with that little icon in your browser's toolbar. Before it was the Sparkrock logo, now it's Business Central. And finally, as mentioned earlier, on the app bar at the top, it will say Dynamics 365 Business Central instead of Sparkrock 365. Most in-app help links will continue to redirect to the Sparkrock 365 help. However, some Microsoft-supplied help links, like the links on the Help and Support page, will now take you to a Microsoft site. Because of the enhancements that have been made to Sparkrock 365 for K-12 and nonprofits, you may not be able to find your answer there. So if you're looking for help, we recommend that you bookmark these pages: help.sparkrock365.com, learn.sparkrock365.com, and support.sparkrock.com. That way you're always sure to get the help and support you need for Sparkrock 365. Now, some Power BI users may need to make a small settings change to continue connecting to the new Microsoft platform. However, if you do run into issues or you just want to check ahead of time, here's where to go. If your report was created by a Sparkrock 365 consultant, there's likely just one place to go. In Power BI, go to Transform Data on the ribbon, and select Transform Data. Scroll up to the top of the Queries list, go into the Hide folder, and then go into the Parameters folder. There's a parameter called Source Name. You're going to see on the folder bar something that starts with Dynamics 365 Business Central, and then some nulls in parentheses. If you see null, 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 so that's null 3 times, then you don't need to make any changes at all. However, if you see null, 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 so null 4 times, then change it to this. Hit enter, then save it, and that's it. Now, if you're using another Power BI report that wasn't created by a Sparkrock 365 consultant, it's a similar change, but it may need to be done in a different way. In the report, go to Transform Data, and then again Transform Data. And then for each table on the left, go to the Advanced Editor and take a look at that first line that starts with Source. Same as before, if you see 3 nulls, then no changes need to be made. If you see 4 nulls, then change it to this. Hit Done and save, and that's it. See the release information about this change for more information. The new Microsoft platform gives you, or your Microsoft administrators, more control over deploying releases because major and minor Business Central releases will now be deployed by Microsoft. And you can control the timing within the Business Center Admin Center as long as they are within Microsoft's release window. Weekly maintenance updates will continue to be released automatically by Sparkrock as long as your Microsoft administrator has gone to adminconsent.sparkrock.com and granted permission. There'll be more information about release timing and processes soon. So to recap, here's the action items for the transition to the new Microsoft Business Central program. When the transition happens, update browser shortcuts or intranet links to the new address starting with businesscentral.dynamics.com. Notify users that Sparkrock 365 might look slightly different with a different icon and splash screen. And make sure your Microsoft administrator grants admin consent to Sparkrock to enable maintenance updates. Again, make sure to read the release notes to learn all about this change, and if you have further questions, contact Sparkrock 365 support or your implementation consultant if you're in project. Thank you so much for watching.